Welcome to the Human 5.0 Project, the podcast where we cut straight to the breakthroughs that matter, the show where science meets self-optimization. I'm your host, Ultimate Biohacker 10X, and here we break down the real research, real data, and real dosing behind modern biohacking, from compounds and peptides to techniques, devices, lifestyle strategies, and performance protocols. Most people jump in and jump out before they get the gold, so we're keeping it tight and delivering the essential insights you need without the fluff. If you've taken the time to hit play, we'll make sure you walk away with valuable knowledge that can transform your approach to longevity, health optimization, and beyond.
Hey loyalists, biohacker, and longevity rebels, this is Ultimate Biohacker 10X firing up the mic again. We are here to extend your health span, fortify your biology, and make every extra year feel fully alive. Welcome back to the Human 5.0 Project. Tonight we are breaking down the pituitary gland and the HPA axis, the brain's command center for hormones, stress, growth, metabolism, and long-term health span. We'll start with the posterior pituitary, move into the anterior, decode the hormone signaling pathways, and finish with what happens downstream when this system works or breaks. This is the control room. Let's get to it. The pituitary is a pea-sized gland at your brain's base. It is split into the posterior and anterior segments. The posterior is first. It's an extension of your hypothalamus, which is a portion of the brain. But there's no blood-brain barrier between the hypothalamus and the posterior pituitary. It's just direct neuron projections. Communication happens when hypothalamic neurons in the supraoptic and paraventricular nuclei synthesize hormones. They shuttle them down via nerves through the infundibulum, and they store them in the posterior pituitary. These are released by neural signals and action potentials. And for those of you who want to know what that is, it's basically any chemical or electrical signal that occurs in this particular area that would then release those hormones. So the hormones are ADH, or antidiuretic hormone, or vasopressin, which is released via osmoreceptors, which sense a high blood salt, or a baroreceptor, which would sense low circulating volume. The signaling binds a V2 receptor in the kidneys to insert aquaporin 2 channels, and this would lead to water reabsorption. It also uses V1 for vasoconstriction. The other hormone is oxytocin, which is released on nipple stimulation for lactation or uterine stretch for labor. Its signaling uses a G protein coupled receptors for myometrial contraction, milk ejection, and social bonding via dopamine release in the nucleus accumbens. So there's no portal system here. It's just pure neurosecretion, like a hormone-loaded neuron bomb in your brain. Now, the anterior pituitary is different. It's glandular tissue, and it makes up about 80% of your pituitary. Communication occurs when the hypothalamus releases hormones into the hypophyseal portal system, which is a vein network, and it carries them directly to the anterior pituitary cells, and it bypasses the general circulation for precision delivery. So releasing hormones from the hypothalamus would include GnRH for FSH and LH gonadotropins, TRH for TSH in the thyroid gland, CRH for ACTH in the adrenal gland, and GHRH for growth hormone in the liver and other sites, as well as dopamine, which actually inhibits prolactin. Now, inhibiting hormones are somatostatin for growth hormone, prolactin and TSH, and dopamine for prolactin. Inhibiting means that when they are present, they block or inhibit the release of a particular hormone. It's like a guard keeping an inmate in a cell. Now, the anterior hormones include growth hormone with a pulsatile release that stimulates insulin-like growth factor 1 in the liver. Its signaling uses something called the JAK-STAT pathway, which regulates gene expression in the cells, and this would be for growth and metabolism. TSH binds thyroid receptors to drive T4 and T3 production. ACTH is the HPA axis core and stimulates adrenal cortisol. Its signaling uses CAMP, which is a protein regulation pathway, for steroidogenesis. FSH and LH are gonadotropins. FSH handles follicle maturation and sperm. LH handles ovulation and testosterone, and their signaling uses CAMP and PKA. Prolactin drives milk production and immune modulation, and its signaling uses the JAK-STAT pathway. So the HPA axis spotlight is stress. Stress triggers the hypothalamus to release corticotropin-releasing hormone, or CRH, into the hypophyseal portal system. CRH stimulates the anterior pituitary to release adrenocorticotropic hormone, or ACTH, which then travels through the bloodstream to the adrenal glands. There, ACTH binds MC2 receptors in the adrenal cortex, activating CAMP signaling, and that drives the conversion of cholesterol into cortisol and other glucocorticoids. Under resting conditions, cortisol provides a negative feedback, inhibiting further CRH and ACTH release to maintain balance. In other words, cortisol normally acts as a brake on the system, but stress temporarily disables the brake. During acute stress, the hypothalamus integrates excitatory input from the amygdala and the brainstem. These signals override cortisol's normal inhibitory feedback, triggering the release of CRH along with vasopressin. CRH and vasopressin amplify ACTH release from the anterior pituitary, sustaining cortisol production even when levels are already elevated. Cortisol mobilizes glucose, suppresses excessive immune activity, and dampens inflammation in the short term. However, when cortisol remains chronically elevated, the system backfires, leading to fatigue, insulin resistance, weight gain, immune suppression, and eventual HPA axis dysregulation. So, cortisol keeps the system in check until stress tells the brain survival comes first. This part is kind of important because we think about people who go to the gym and are under stress and are constantly elevating their cortisol. And remember what I just said. High cortisol can backfire the system, leading to fatigue, insulin resistance, weight gain, immune suppression, and eventual HPA axis dysregulation. So if you think about it, if you have an unbalanced cortisol and it's high, no matter how much working out you're going to do in the gym, you potentially could stay the same or gain weight. Pituitary hormones cascade everywhere. Growth hormone and IGF-1 drive bone and muscle growth, fat metabolism, and anti-aging. Low growth hormone equals sarcopenia, or muscle loss. TSH, T3, and T4 control metabolism, heart rate, and thermogenesis. Hypo equals fatigue and weight gain. ACTH and cortisol handle stress response, blood sugar, and immune modulation. High equals anxiety and insulin resistance. FSH and LH drive reproduction, estrogen, and testosterone. Imbalance equals infertility and menopause issues. Prolactin handles lactation, but when high, it drops libido and causes infertility. ADH manages kidney water retention. Low levels equal diabetes insipidus or dehydration. Oxytocin handles bonding, labor, and mood. Low levels equals social anxiety and depression. Downstream chaos would include a pituitary tumor, which causes acromegaly with high growth hormone, or hypopituitarism, which is low pituitary output, with low everything. So HPA dysregulation equals adrenal fatigue and autoimmune flares. The pituitary and the HPA are your body's CEO. Master them, and you master your health span. Grab the full hormone signaling map PDF in the show notes. Stay regulated, stay curious, stay unbreakable, and there will be more.
Thanks for listening to the Human Upgrade Project. If you found value in today's episode, share it with someone who's ready to elevate their biology. Make sure to follow the show for weekly deep dives into peptides, protocols, devices, lifestyle strategies, and the science of high-performance longevity. Until next time, stay curious, stay optimized, and stay 10x.